Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Sunday, in hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. I am Sean Azimi with SideGigSean.com, where I help you look, start, and grow your side business. Welcome. Jenny, how are you? If you are in network marketing, or you want to be in network marketing, and you have prospects that you've talked to, and they've said that they can't do this, you want I haven't even said anything. Thank you for the stars. But you want to tag him to this. This is going to be really good. Man, I am sweating. Whew. It's warm, huh? Well, you guys don't know. It's warm here for some reason. I don't know why. But, well, I mean, I know why, because it's Southern California. But, all right. I have a really good one for you today. It's hot, man. It is warm. I got my drink right next to me, but I don't want to scare anybody once I drink it, you know. You guys may say, what is that? But, so, you know, oh, don't worry about it. So, you know, in the profession that we've chosen to participate in, let's just say, whether you're full-time, part-time, or any-time in network marketing or the direct sales, you've probably come across people that say, you know what, I can't do this, or I'm not able to do this, or I don't know how to sell, or I don't know, you know, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, we have air conditioning. I just haven't turned it on. But, and that's a normal thing. People say that a lot. Is the sound okay? You guys can hear me okay, right? Okay. I mean, I'm thinking okay, because if it weren't, you would have said something. So today is an interesting day for me, because I just got off basically from it's gonna, you know, I have to go close the windows and then turn it on. But so today is a special, because I just came off 3 days of seminar with Ray Higdon, and it was Faith Over Fear, and it was strategies, faith, and just so much stuff, stories and success stories, failure stories, strategies, like I said, and all kinds of stuff. Training on how to write a book, on how to, just all kinds of, just 3 days of jam-packed from morning to night. You know, really good information, content, and value. And this event was really cool. And, you know, and some of you know that on Saturdays we have a team call, and I help to run that call. I you know, do the recording and posting and all this stuff, right? And some of you know that I also have gotten involved with Dr. Netta, if you would, and I'm helping produce her show with all the editing and ads and, you know, all this stuff. Why am I telling you this stuff? Mimi, June, how are you? Oh, I'm so glad you're here. So why do I tell you this stuff? The fact that I just got off a 3-day seminar with Ray Higdon, and all we heard is really like strategies and techniques and stories. And then why do I tell you that I help run the Saturday team calls that are really more stories and more success, failure stories, that kind of a thing. And then why do I tell you about Dr. Netta's show, that I'm helping produce her show, and all we do is really interview, well, all she does is interview men who are making a difference in their community, right? And it's all stories. So why do I tell you that? I tell you that for this reason. And I'm gonna I know you're seven. It's perfect timing. You joined at a perfect time. This is perfect timing. I'm so glad you're here. So I have found after yesterday, and I was really, really thinking to myself yesterday, if you're joining me here and I haven't shouted you out, it's because I don't know you're here. So you gotta make a comment or something in the comments so that I can see you're here, because I don't always know you're here or you're not here. So after all this, last night I was sitting to myself and thinking, right? And you guys saw, some of you know my story, some of my story, right? I've gone through a few struggles in life, right? 38 jobs, 10 industries, 7 surgeries. I was counting actually 7 relationships, one of them being a marriage, you know. I've lived in 18 different addresses. So all this stuff, I've gone through a few things, right? So I was thinking last night, and I'm like thinking, why people, how is it that they can't like do network marketing? What is it? What's the big struggle, right? What's the speed bump? What's holding you back? And I was really thinking about this. And then this morning, I was listening to my church and the message there, and it was just another story that they said, right? And I'm going to share that story with you in a second. So why do I tell you this? I'm going to tell you this. Network marketing, all it is, it's going to come down to 3 things. Now, before I give you these 3 things, I want you to think about this. I'm not talking about the money that people talk about. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the lifestyle that people talk about and you don't buy. I'm not talking about that. I'm not going to talk about whether this is a pyramid or an octagon or gazillion or whatever it is, you know. Not going to talk about that. All I'm going to tell you is 3 things, and this is, truthfully, this is just like a breakthrough for me, because I really just came up with this really last night / today. All it's going to take for you to be successful in network marketing, you don't have to have sales skills. Are those skills that you're going to acquire along the way? Absolutely. Why wouldn't you? Even if you were a doctor, there's continued education. Even if you were an engineer, there's continued education. If you were a mechanic, there's continued education. If you were a barber, there is continued education. It's like, why wouldn't you, right? There's skills you're going to learn along the way. Are there sales skills you're going to learn along the way? Yeah. Are there skills that you're going to be able to communicate with people better? Yeah. Are you going to just learn more stuff? Yeah, you are. But I'm not going to talk about that stuff. I'm not. I'm going to give you 3 things that if you are able to do this, you're done in network marketing. And watch me go starting tomorrow. Are you ready? Some of you are you still awake? Who's here? This is the best formula, and I don't think I've ever heard it anywhere else. I promise you. I don't think you've heard it either. The best 3 kept secret. Well, maybe I don't know if it's kept or not, because I mean they would probably share it, but we haven't heard it, right? So Mimi's still here. Okay, good. Here it is. Number 1. You have to be a collector of stories. You have to collect stories. Okay? Now, notice the big difference here. I never said believe. I never said believe. I said collect these stories. What stories am I talking about? The stories of a person who lost 50 pounds on the products and was struggling for years, has tried so many things. The person who's tried this product and after that they have improved their shoulder pain, their knee pain. There's some kind of a health benefit story that people are going to talk about. I didn't say believe it. Hold on. So you collect that story. And then on the other side, there's stories of business people, people with 1,800 kids and 13 jobs and 5 husbands and wives and all this stuff and still getting it done. About that truck driver that drives 15-hour days and still gets it done. About the mom that has 5 kids and a job and a husband and still gets it done. These stories that I'm telling you, these are real fact stories. I'm not making these up. About the mom that has 9 kids and a husband and still gets it done. About the mom who's a single mom with special needs kids and 2 other kids and a job, who's struggling to make ends meet and still gets it done. Right? There's all these stories, right? So you collect these stories. Collect them. Now here's what I gotta tell you. This is what blows my mind. Are you ready? If you're a mom, listen to me, okay? If you're a mom, hear me out. Some of you have heard about my childhood stories, but this is not about that. But if you're a mom, you probably are going to raise your kids, or you have already raised your kids on some of these fairy tale stories, right? Pinocchio, Cinderella, all these fairy tales. I never grew up watching these things. I can't even name them. That's kind of weird. But all these stories, right? You're going to tell them that there's a tooth fairy. You're going to tell this kid that there's Santa Claus that's going to come down the chimney. Just hear me out. You're going to tell this kid that there's Santa Claus that's going to come down the chimney, will leave cookies and milk, and he's going to eat it and then leave you gifts and go. Like, you tell that story year after year to your kid, and then when they become old enough to say, what the, Mom, what, Dad, what were you doing? You're like, well, you got gifts. So you tell all these, like, not even close to true stories to your kids. But then you have a hard time believing somebody lost 50 pounds, busting their ass, using these products, telling you how they did it. You have a hard time believing that. But you sell your kid on Santa Claus coming down the chimney, tooth fairy leaving you $50 under your pillow. But you, as an adult, refuse to believe that a truck driver that works 18 hours, 6 days a week, on his breaks, does this business. You have to sit and really, really let that marinate and see where the disconnection is. How long did you believe in Santa Claus? How many years? How long did it take for you to say, no, it's a pyramid? You believed in Santa Claus for years. It took you a split second to say, nope, it's a pyramid. You collect these stories. I never got a dime. I never even knew what Tooth Fairy was. I never knew what Santa Claus was. I never watched a cartoon in my life as a child, ever. I've told this story before. I've never watched a cartoon as a kid. There was only one cartoon I would watch, and it's none of these fairy tales. I never grew up like that, so I don't know how that is. I never grew up playing with another kid. Never. I've never had a friend to play with as a child, so I don't know. Like, the stories people tell me, that's great. I just don't have it. I don't have those stories, right? I just grew up in my room alone for the 13 years I was in Iran, and then I came here. So I've never had that experience. So for me, I never believed that stuff because it was never there. So it was never shared to me. So when I came here and I heard this stuff, I'm like, what the heck are these people feeding their kids? I'm the only child from my mom's side. My mom has a previous marriage, and I have a brother and a sister there. It's like a half brother, half sister. But they're in Iran, and I haven't seen them for 37 years, and we never grew up together. So, yeah. I have a pretty wild, crazy... If I tell you some of my childhood stories, you would literally think I'm nuts. You would think that I'm crazy nuts. Gene, how are you? Welcome. Dude, at least you guys got $1. I didn't even know there was such a thing. I would milk my parents if I knew. You know what I mean? Like, I would have said, hey, like, I have 32 teeth. That's $32. I'm a business guy, right? I mean, they all fall, right? All right, well, let's take out the wisdom. That's 28. Like, I'm doing the numbers already in my head. I'm a business guy, guys. I'm sorry. But that's $28 already. Like, I should probably go to my parents and ask for that right now, you know? Yeah, 3 stepsons. Okay. Wow, that's wow, that's crazy. So the first thing is you got to collect these stories. I don't care if you believe them or not. You believe in Santa Claus. So stop telling me like, oh yeah, oh, what? This collagen really helped improve his hair? I'm going to tell you, did Santa Claus really come down the chimney and eat your cookies, drink your milk, and leave your kids gift? Like, what the... Anyway, like, that doesn't even make any sense to me. Like, literally. Like, how does that make any sense? Like, you feed your kids this story, like, year after year. They literally look forward to this huge lie. And you participate in it. Like, stores go on sale for this lie. Like, it's humongous. It's like It's not supposed to be about Santa Claus. That's a whole other life. Don't get me started there. But you feed these kids, and I'm not even a parent. Like, maybe this is one of the reasons, because my philosophies are so different. You know what I mean? Like, I would never tell my kid there's a tooth fairy. It's like, what? Grow up. Pull that tooth. You're going to grow another one. That's reality. That's life. Nobody's going to fly down the chimney and leave you bucks. It's like, what? That's not how you grow somebody's imagination. That's false imagination. Don't get me started on parenthood. Okay, so you collect these stories. That's the first thing you gotta do. I get hot on parenthood, man, because kids are so precious, you know. Anyway, I some of you know I studied psychology. My focus was human behavior, and then I studied child psychology. So I'm like, you know, team money, where you at? So first thing, you got to collect these stories. I don't care if you believe them. You believe in other crap that you shouldn't even believe, but you do. So just collect them. All right. So first thing you do, the first thing you got to do, 3 things that will make you successful in network marketing. I don't care if you have any sales skills, which we all do. That's a whole other life, but don't get me started. I don't care if you know one human being on this planet Earth. You don't know anybody else. I don't care if you're like 3/4 black, and then, you know, 1/2 like purple, and then like the rest is Persian. Like, I don't care about that stuff. These 3 things are going to make you successful. I'm telling you. 1, collect the stories. Second thing, don't sit on them. Tell the stories. Stories are meant to be shared, not stored. Who cares about a story? Have you ever met a grandfather that you sit next to and shuts up and never talks and never tells a story? Have you ever met one? I mean, I haven't, but they always tell stories. You tell the story. All you do is tell stories. You match stories with people. You find a truck driver that happens to drive 15 hours, guess what? You got a story just like that. You say, look, Tim, I don't know how to drive a truck. In fact, I hardly know how to drive. This guy right here drives a truck and does this. So maybe you guys should talk. I know this guy. Or I know this girl with 9 kids. Or I know this other person who had wrist surgery, snapped his wrist twice. They told him it's going to take 2 years before he gets 70% of his wrist, and 1 year to hold a pen in his hand. But he drank this collagen, and collagen helped him to do push-ups in 9 months. Like, you got those stories, right? So you match the story with that person. You meet somebody who's married and has 1 newborn and 3 stepsons and a husband and is a stay-home mom. You find a story like that and you say, Mimi June, I tell you what, I got a girl just like that is doing this just like that. Hey Moon Lee, how are you? Welcome, welcome. So you collect the stories and then you tell the stories. As many as you possibly can. Because everybody, if you poke enough, listen to me, this is so good. If you poke enough, the pain will come out. And then you have a matching story. That's okay. Let the story go left. Let's see what happens. Let's go left, see what happens, you know? You never know. Collect the story, tell the story, and I'm going to tell you something that you're going to drop the mic with. You can't do those two without the third one. This, I'm telling you, this is going to be the formula for success. Collect the stories, tell the stories, and then become a story for other people to collect and tell. Become that person that you were 100% against this business, but because somebody bugged the heck out of you, you said, fine. And now, here I am. You have got to become a story for others to collect and to tell. Then you're a gangster in the business. When people keep repeating your story, people keep telling your story, that's when you know you have an impact just by living your life. You're not doing anything extra. It's your story. You didn't lie about it. It's your story. Stories are meant to be shared, not stored. I'm all about it. You guys know that. And my motto is this: you see the glory, but you don't know the story. The story is what happens. If I came out here and I told you, hey, Rocky Balboa became the world champ in the movie, you're like, oh yeah? That's great. Who the heck is Rocky Balboa? But if you watch the movie, you'll be like, dude. So, you don't know how to sell? I don't care. You don't know anybody in your life? I mean, I can introduce you to somebody who had 84 friends on Facebook and started doing this business, and now she has over 5,000 friends and a group with 25,000 people in it. And she started with 84 friends. I could literally introduce you to her. I have that story. But yet you don't believe that story. But you go tell your kid about Santa Claus and Tooth Fairy and Tinkerbell and Pinocchio and Cinderella. I don't get it. And I'm going to tell you something else because it's Sunday. I just feel like doing it. You know, in the Bible, you know, the best recruiter of all time. I've done a couple lives on this, and I'll go to battle with any hardcore Christian. I'm telling you. The best recruiter on this planet ever is Jesus Christ. He recruited more people than any network marketer on the planet Earth. I'm telling you, I'm telling you. He was the best network marketer on the planet. The best. He sold a product. He sold salvation. And he didn't have it boxed up in a little, like a box with a bow and say, oh, it's going to be shipped to your, camp. He didn't have that. How did he recruit? By telling how good salvation is? Or demonstrating it and telling stories? He told stories. Left and right. Parables. Stories. Yeah, he told stories. And you know what? Sometimes he used the hyperbole. I think that's the word, hyperbole. That's when you use an extreme to get a point across, right? I'm not an expert on the Bible. Nowhere near it, okay? But I'm going to drop something on you. I know this one. Don't know where it is in the Bible. I think it's T-Money. Are you here? Okay. Maybe you can drop it in the comments. I think it's in Matthew's. Could be in John. I'm sorry. But I'm pretty sure. He says, listen to me. If your left eye is causing you to sin, you go ahead and gouge that eye out. He says that, right? Hey, if your right arm is causing you to sin, you better cut that thing off. That's a hyperbole. That's like using an extreme to get a point across. That's when you ask me, is this a pyramid? I'm like, what the? What? You believe in Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy? Seriously? Oh. Collect stories. Match up stories with people and tell them. Left and right, just tell these stories. You're not, dude, it's not your story, it's somebody else's story. You're taking this guy's story and you're telling it to this guy. It's not even your story. It's like you being a reporter. You gossip all the time, don't you? Well, gossip the truth. Just tell the truth. Like, hey, I know this gal. I know this guy. Collect the stories, tell the stories, and become a story for other people to collect and to tell. Hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value from this. I appreciate you guys. Every business is a pyramid, and this is only one person in the business. I can tell you this, no business shape really pays. Right? I mean, UFC is an octagon, you use an octagon. It doesn't matter if it's an octagon or bare knuckle fighting where it's a round ring or boxing ring where it's a square. It doesn't matter. It's not the shape that pays. Like, people focus on the shape. Forget about this. It's like so dumb. It's like these things don't make sense. Let me tell you something. An 18-year-old made $25 million last year on TikTok. Just think about that for a second, okay? An 18-year-old, this is a person who was just about to go to college. You're sitting with your daughter saying, well, what are your plans for college, my daughter? And she says, well, Mom, I just made $18 million on TikTok. And you're going to say, well, that's horrible. I need you to go to school. And this is a pyramid. It's like, what the? The whole thing is this. It's like, this is a ping pong match you don't want to get in. Don't get into that conversation. That conversation doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? So if you're promoting a product, if you're doing a business in network marketing, direct sales, affiliate marketing, MLM, social retail. By the way, MLM is the best way to get paid. It's multi-level marketing. Why the hell would you want to get paid on one level of marketing? I've done a whole live about this. It's OLM, one level marketing. Why on earth would you want that instead of multi-levels? Like, why would you just, you know what? I don't want to get paid from the other 10 people. I just want to get paid from this guy. It's like, then you don't understand money, income, how it works, how it generates. It's like, no, I don't want to get paid from, the rest of I just want, what? So do some studying, oh my God, this live is going to take 3 months to upload because it's so long. I didn't think it was going to be this long, but this is so important because I'm going to tag a lot of people to this live, so I don't have to explain this all the time. But the most important thing is to collect these stories, tell these stories, and become the story for other people to collect and to tell. That's it. And then here's what happens. In the process, here's what's going to happen. These stories are going to get to you. You're going to start tearing up. Your heart is going to start just churning and turning. Glow, glow. Because you're going to see them at work. You're going to see them in real life. Have you ever seen Santa Claus in real life? Well, except like your brother or your dad, your husband that dresses up. But have you seen him come down from north? I mean, have you? But these are real human beings that you can touch and feel. Don't discredit people's stories. Guys, gals. Don't discredit people's pains and journey. It's been painful for them. It's been hurtful. It cost them people, relationships, friends, sacrifices. And yet, you say to your kids, Santa Claus exists, but this guy doesn't exist. Some of you have told me stories about your lives that have blown my mind. I've been doing lives for over 4 years. And I have had many people, send me messages, and we get on the phone and they tell me their stories. And it's blown my mind. Like stuff that I thought I was bad. And yet, I find it just amazing that somebody says, oh, that didn't happen. But Santa Claus, honey, coming down the chimney. Please stop feeding your kids like garbage. I know some of you are going to jump down my throat about this stuff, but I don't believe in Halloween. I've never participated in Halloween. I don't dress up for Halloween. I don't partake in Halloween. And I've even lost a relationship over Halloween because she was all over it and I wasn't. And I don't care. It's all about your MVPs, your morals, your values, your principles. You know, what you believe in, what you believe in. Would you like it? You have a journey. You have a story. If you told your story to somebody, would you like it if somebody turned around and said, well, I don't believe you. But hey, it's Christmas. Santa Claus is coming. What you got planned? You'd be like, wait a minute. I just told you my... These stories are for real. Collect them. Tell them. Become them. I hope you guys got some love. I'll go back, you guys know, I'll go back to my comments and I'll respond to everybody. I'm just saying that X, my brother's restaurant, has cooks, waitresses, busboys, cashiers, and he's the owner. So all those people are under him. Businesses have works. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, the shape is that, but, you know, the structure, I like to call the structure, that's how it should, businesses run. A network marketing structure is run like a pyramid. There's somebody on top that, there's a CEO. There has to be, delegations. People don't understand these are delegated tasks. It's not about the shape. Yeah, I'll tell you what, you become the CEO. You go ahead. I've done a live about this before. A CEO is not just because he's more or she is more educated. That's not it. A CEO is a person that solves bigger problems. You don't go to the CEO and you say, you know what, the copier doesn't work. Like, what the? No, you go to the CEO and you say, hey, listen, we got a major problem with this section of our business. A CEO, the higher in the structure, you just solving bigger problems. That's the reason why you become more valuable, you grow, you work on yourself, then you become a bigger problem solver. You don't just start solving problems. Oh, you know what, honey, the sink is overrun. It's like, well, I get somebody. I got a team of 1,000 people I got to answer to. So you're solving bigger problems. Bigger problems you solve, bigger money you get paid. That's all it is. So yeah. So hopefully you guys got some love, wow, this is a long. I haven't done a long live like this for I think it was 45 minutes. Hopefully you guys got. I'm sure. If you guys have stayed this long, either you love me or you hate me at this time, or you really I made you thinking. I hope I made you thinking. Please, if you don't even look at a network, let me leave you with this. I know I'm not a parent. I've done lives about this before. I know some of you are going to say you can't say it because you don't have a kid. But I do have a brain, and I have been a kid. So I know the effects. Please, pretty please, with a cherry on top, fight this battle of feeding your kid that Santa Claus exists and Tooth Fairy exists. It doesn't exist, bro. Listen, you're going to go through some pain for about 2 minutes on your tooth, and I'm going to pull it out, and you're going to be good, and we're going to go for it and get some ice cream. That's real talk. Please. I mean, anyway. I could literally talk about this for a whole day. Drop one you can drop one takeaway now, and probably 10 takeaways. One takeaway from this live in the comments below. If you feel like this was worthy of sharing, tag people, share them to this, and I'll leave you with this. If anybody tagged you to this live and you've been their prospect, they've been talking to you, you get back to the person who invited you to this live. If you've been approached by somebody else, don't come to me. Please, go to that person. But if you don't have anybody to go to, and you're looking for, now you're like, that makes sense. I could collect freaking stories and tell them, and then become one. What happens? Because you're going to experience the products, you're going to experience the business, and you can tell either one of those stories. So if you're one of those people, and if I've even approached you and this made sense to you now, it's like, okay, and then hit me up and say, hey, more info, drop it in the comments, more info, or hit me up, text, chat, you know what to say. Just say something about the business, and we'll get you some info, and then we'll go from there. But with that, hopefully you guys feel like this was worthy of sharing, and share, tag, all that stuff. And I am Sean Azimi with SideGigSean.com, where I help you look, start, and grow your side business. Signing off until tomorrow, when we do it all over again. Much love.